Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pastor Mike's Son podcast show. I have a special guest here tonight, longtime friend, Bishop, as we call him. Matter of fact, before we get started, before we go any further, make sure you go to our YouTube page, subscribe, and like and share. All right. So I want to give this man his flowers, flowers that he's due, because he's one of a kind. He's the type of dude where if you ask him to do something, he will make sure he will try his best to get it done, and he won't make any excuses. I definitely want to give him his flowers. So I want to read your bio so everybody get to know who you are. Bishop Troy Randall is a lifelong Park Heights resident, pastor, community leader who chairs the Pimlico Community Advisory Board. He leads at the House Inc., a grassroots organization focused on neighborhood opportunity, youth development, and safer streets. As a steady voice throughout the Pimlico redevelopment, Bishop Randall advocates for local hiring, small business growth, and rural resources for families. His story blends faith, service, and lived experience, and he brings a forward-looking blueprint for how Park Heights can turn today's investment into tomorrow's prosperity. Welcome, Bishop Troy Randall. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get a big cheer.
Thank you so much, my friend. It's good to be here.
Yes, absolutely. So, before I get started, I say this to all of our guests that come. This is a safe space for you to speak your mind, tell the truth. Notice I say not your truth, but the truth, and just, because I want men to be able to express themselves freely and show emotions. It's okay it's okay to not be okay. If you want to talk, it's okay to cry. It's okay, just let it out and tell the other man, hey, I need your help, brother. I need some help. So, absolutely. So we're going to dive deep into your background, your story, and we're going to go from there.
Sure.
All right. Matter of fact, before we even get started, tell the audience a little bit about yourself before I start getting into the questions.
It's too much.
It's too
Okay. I am a university. I got my master's in social work. I went to Sojourner Douglas before that and got my bachelor's in human services. And I decided that I did not want to be a therapist. All of my friends are therapists. All of my friends got their license. All of them have their own practice. That is just not my field. I am a grassroots community builder. I do community work in the heart of the city, and I bring resources to people. I've done that all my life. I've been asked, as you said earlier, to do this and asked to do that. And the ministry that God has given me is to empower men, families, youth, aging adults. We don't say seniors anymore.
Right.
So aging adults, especially when I'm creeping up on that, aging adults. But we give them hope that they can do it. And it is not about beating people over the head as a preacher. It is not about saying I have more than you, but let's sit down and let's talk about what we could do together. How can I help you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you are a real community. You are actually in the community. You don't just talk about it. You are about it.
I'm turning dirt in the garden.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many years have you been working in the community?
I want to say really all my life, but it really started once I left high school. I didn't want to go to college, but I knew that I needed a college degree, and it's okay now in this day not to go to college, but to seek higher education, certification. I didn't have that opportunity. I had to go to college. Only one in my family completing with a master's. I had to set the blueprint for the rest of mine. But was it easy? No, I cried all the way through it.
Yeah.
I had people grab my arms and say, you're not fit. You're not failing. We're going to go through this together, and made it through. So no, I have been in the ministry of helps for over 20, 25, 30.
Wow. So tell us how you got into the ministry, your start, and how that came to be when your calling
is not what you think.
Okay, gotcha.
I was a businessman. I was always ambitious. I always wanted to be my own boss. I did not want to follow direction.
Oh, you sound like me.
Hard head.
You sound like me.
And I had to find a way to mesh me with the world. So I started and this is going to throw you. I started a nail salon.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Who would ever know that one?
All right.
And I started because it looked easy. Put up tables, buy products, hire people, stand back, collect the money. No, it don't work like that.
Right. It don't work like that.
So after I was stole blind from the workers I brought, and I kept one young lady, she worked at Social Security. Matter of fact, my salon was right around the corner on Dogwood Road.
Oh, wow.
And I hired her, and she trained me to help her. So I was taking off nail polish and I was soaking people's nails. And I said, well, I can help you a little bit more. Show me something else. Before you know it, I got my license in doing nails.
Wow.
So I'm a nail technician as well.
Wow. I did not know that. I did not know that.
I overdid it because I liked the money. I came in at 6 a.m., got off at 12 midnight. I had a chair, like an office chair with wheels, and I would roll from person to person. I did 3 people at a time. They would bring me breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I never had to get up, and I wore 300. Yes.
Wow.
I was that big. I made good money, but I wasn't helping.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's nothing about, being big but I wasn't healthy with mine.
Right.
So I'm doing nails one day and I heard my calling.
Wow.
In the middle of doing nails, I'm counseling people. I am doing all of this stuff, not knowing that it really was ministry. And I went to seminary and I pulled up and I said, I can't believe I'm doing this. And I walked up to the school. It was called Pleasant Grove Baptist Church.
Oh, that's over east, right?
No, it's in East, it's in Emerson Village, but they were on North Avenue is where they had it. And I walked up and a little boy was sitting on the porch and he said, of the place, and he said, they're waiting for you. And who's waiting for me? Nobody knows me. He said, they're upstairs waiting for you. So I look up to God and I said, okay, I got it. You're calling me. I got it. I went upstairs, the gentleman said, oh, you're signing up to learn more about the ministry because you're going in and you got a full-time call. How did you know that? So it went on from there. So I got my ministry start from my nail salon. And then the rest is history. I went to school and got my bachelor's in divinity and education.
Wow. So, and with that being said, because a lot of people, they don't understand the trials and tribulations of of becoming a pastor, bishop, whatever you are in the ministry, and the things that behind the doors that people don't understand and or don't know. So can you talk a little bit about that? Those things that people don't realize that pastors or bishops go through?
It's a lot. And it is sometimes judgmental by your own Christian friend. Sometimes it's jealousy. They see you moving up the Christian ladder and they try to pull you back down or try to destroy your credibility. But for me, I tried to do everything in the church. I taught Sunday school. I had, I can't sing. I had a youth choir that they played the music, the songs, and they sang the songs. I was a trustee. I was a deacon. I did help with transportation. I tried to do everything I could to stay away from pastor.
Wow.
I did everything I could, even soup kitchen. I did everything. Guess what? Pastor came anyway.
Wow.
So it's hard. It's hard in the church. But if you love the Lord and had your eye on him, then you don't see the rest of the people that are doing that shenanigan stuff.
Right.
You don't.
And as a pastor, like, how do you, because I know you get phone calls, late night phone calls, people telling you about their horror stories and things that they're going through. How do you spiritually detach yourself from those things so you can manage and not become overwhelmed?
Yeah. And you do become overwhelmed. I had to get to the point where I had to let the ministries work for itself. And we had a hotline that you can call in that's 24 hours so I can sleep. And then that way we had a person that was able to triage some stuff, but you will get burnt out. They do still call me. If there's a fire on the block, I'm the first person to call. I'm not a fireman, but they call me. If there's a break-in or an ambulance, they're always calling me. And that's just part of the job. You as a person in the ministry have to be able to balance. You have to say, I have to disconnect from this for my own safety. Because
Absolutely.
if you do not, you will absorb all of that. And when do you release? And
Wow.
Sunday morning is not the time to release.
Wow.
And it happened.
So what do you say to, and because you'll get a lot of this too, to the saints that if you don't answer their phone call or if you don't tell them what they like, then they threaten to leave the church. Like, how do you deal with that aspect of church? Like, how do you balance that without so-called offending somebody, but also remaining responsive or attentive to their needs?
Absolutely. First and foremost, that's not my church.
Ooh.
So you're not leaving me.
Right.
I didn't call you here. You came because you knew that there was a need and you needed God to care for you.
Mm.
That's the first thing. Secondly, if you're always upfront with people, when those days come, you can say, my bad. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. You know my track record.
Right.
You know I've been there. You know I'm not running from you. How can we help now?
Mm.
What can we do from this point? Because I can't take care of that in the past. And I was tired. You know.
Yeah.
Human.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tired.
Yeah. And a lot of times, the saints and the members don't realize that they're human and they tend to, glorify the pastors.
Absolutely.
And sometimes the pastors get caught up in being glorified.
Amen.
So how did you manage, not getting caught up in the glorification of being a pastor and maintaining, being humble, being a humble servant?
I know you wasn't expecting me to say that one. I got out. And let me tell you what I mean by that. My calling wasn't pastorate. My calling was ministry. And some pastors need to wake up. Some are horrible in the pulpit. I don't understand how they're there. But that's not my call and my judgment on them. But for me, every time the door opened and my pulpit faced the door of the street, I wanted to be out there and I didn't want to be behind the pulpit. And it became a job and labor intensive that I had. And I asked the Lord, I said, I just feel like I'm a offset. I'm not a part of the group. Everybody else has big churches and I don't feel that. And he told me, you have a paraministry. And a paraministry is when you step outside of the church and you do the supports needed for the community and you support other churches who are not doing it to be able to do it. So you become Jesus' hand. Most are Jesus' mouthpiece. Some are Jesus' arm that they lean on and cry, but I'm his hand. So I've accepted to be his hands and I'm able to be in the community and do all the things that I do.
Wow. And with you being in the community, you see a lot of young people that need that help, that need that guidance, especially in these times. What do you say about the younger generation not really feeling the church and not really want to go to church? What is your perspective on that? And how would you approach that as far as getting the youth to believe in coming to church again? And that's beneficial for them.
So Rocky, again, I'm not feeling the church either.
Okay.
The church has become too religious. They are religiously doing things.
Yeah.
As opposed to being a Christian. We need to have church out on the stoop. We need to have church in the school. Yeah. We need to have church in our neighborhoods. The church that they are looking for may not have a musician. It may be just that conversation. And I've had it all the time. I'm working in the garden or in the community and they come up, everybody don't know I'm a bishop. They come up and they talk to me and I'm real with them. We talk. And then at the end they said, are you in the ministry or something? You in there? I said something like that. I'm there. Sometimes I'm there. But they feel free to open up. And pastors need to take off those pimp suits and those alligator shoes and roll up their sleeves and come outside.
Yeah. I'm in the community.
Play basketball with them. That's all they want. And they will open up. They will tell you more stuff than you want to know. Sometimes you got to say, don't tell me that. I don't want to know that. We're going to work on this.
Right.
And then we'll get to that later. But they feel like we have left them as a church. So now it's our job to go back in the field and get them.
Wow. So you guys hear that. So it's about being in the community, being about the community, not just waiting for people to come to you. You have to go to the people.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. So I'm excited about this conversation, John, because there's a lot of stuff I didn't know.
And you know me.
Right, exactly. So,
Right.
all right, so you're going to pivot a little bit. Let's focus on the things that you're doing in the community. What moment made you decide you were going to invest your life in Park Heights and not just live there?
I ran from Park Heights because I was raised there.
Mm.
And I figured, like we all do, once I get away, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get out of here.
Mm.
God has a funny way of bringing me back.
Mm.
I was homeless and with my children. And I looked to the Lord and I said, I need a place to live. I'm going from rent to rent to rent to renting somebody's sofa and then somebody's basement. And I have children. I have 4 children. And I said, I need somewhere for them to go. And he showed me a house in my community that I live in now in Park Heights. And it came as a referral from one of my children's godmother. And it was so much drugs on the street. I went back and I laid her out. I was going to say cussed out. I laid her out. And I said, how dare you send me and my children to a drug infested area? You crazy? So we stopped talking. And my godmother, a couple of months later, said, I know where a house is. I said, okay. And she brought me the first referral. I came from Belvedere into Park Heights. When my godmother brought me, I came from Northern Parkway. Damn, beautiful trees, beautiful homes.
Right.
I walked up to it. I said, yes, I want it. Long story short, I brought the place and I started moving my stuff in. Beautiful block. I went outside to go get in my car and I had to ask permission to get in my car because the drug dealers were in front of my gate, in front of my car. They had to give me permission to leave my block.
Wow.
And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, I'm going to fix this. Okay. So I just did what they said, that I wanted the safety of my children.
Yeah.
And I felt trapped. And as I rode down the street, that's the same street the girl showed me the first time.
Wow.
So God brought me back to an area and he said, this is what I want you to do. And he laid out the plan.
Wow.
Now those blocks are clear. They are clean. I went to those guys as men. We had a meeting.
I was just about to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So how did that meeting take place?
I went over on an abandoned lot where they were and I brought some chicken boxes and I gave them chicken boxes. I said, have lunch with me.
Okay.
And they said, okay, still don't know who I am.
Right.
So I'm sitting down and I find out everybody, before you know it, I know everybody's ailment. I know why they have the medic bracelet on their arm. Now, I'm only there for a few minutes. He has seizures. Sometimes he passes out. This is the leader.
Wow.
So I said, okay. So I met with him and I talked with him and I said, hey, I know you got a job. You got children, right? You told me you had children. He said, yes. I said, and I know you have to feed your family. You're a man. I'm not here to judge you. But what I am asking you is, I have children here too. And I have a community that God has given me to work. And all I'm asking you to do is give me a little time to do that. Just give me that time. And he said, you're the first person that talks to us like a human, like a man. So he stood up and he did his hand and all the drug dealers came over. I thought they would get ready to do something to me. I really did. And he said, this day forward, the place belongs to this man.
Wow.
And he walked away. And the guys walked away. And I'm standing there with my eyes closed because I thought they would get ready to do something to me. And I look up and everybody's gone. And that built a relationship with him. And that's all he needed.
Wow. And for you to have the bravery to do that, because not everybody, the times are crazy these days.
I have children.
Yeah.
And if you're going to kill me, you're going to kill me. But you're not going to kill my children. Okay. So I had to weigh the decision on which way I was going to go with this.
Yeah.
Because my daughter has to go to school. My son has to go to school and he's not going to walk past this. And that's it. Now, if that didn't work, I would have had a block cleanup and had those drug dealers help me sweep that block. Once I make them work, they'll leave. They'll leave. Yeah.
Wow.
That was plan B.
Wow. Well, all right, so you had conversation with them and they were open to letting you set your vision. So this is a great segue into my next question. What is your vision in 5 years for Park Heights? Like when you picture Park Heights 5 years into the Pimlico rebuild, what do you want a young person to be able to access within a 10-minute walk from home like jobs, apprenticeships, safe spaces, small business support? Like, which comes first and why?
I want the young people to know that we fought hard to get what they are getting now. That racetrack, and I'm the chairman of the Pimlico Redevelopment Advisory Board. Fancy word for saying I lead the neighborhood associations in communication with the state, with the governor, and with the developer. They can't do anything without us knowing it, agreeing on it, and talking about it. And what I want the young people to know is that racetrack has been there for 150 years, and you were not allowed in. Now that it's down to the ground, and I could say that now because it's all down to the ground and getting ready to be rebuilt, it's being rebuilt with you in mind. You can bring your family up and have a picnic on the grass. You can come to the racetrack and enjoy the different stores and the museum there. You can actually go into the racetrack and it's not freakness. That was the whole thing. And I want them to understand that me and the co-chair, we walked in Annapolis, went door to door until we got every representative to agree with us to not only give us the $500 million to build that, but they also came away with 10% of all net revenue to go back to the community and all of its programming. And listen to this, forever. So for 150 years, you got nothing.
Right.
Now you have it forever. So when I'm dead and gone and children are gone, they will still be receiving the money and the benefits that this community desperately needs. Park Heights has been forgotten. And if I would have to pick from that list that you said of what I would do first, I think making a safe place and a neutral place for them to come in, young people, old people, everybody, to express themselves in any way they will want to do it and be able to be incorporated into all the plans that are coming in. That's what I would.
So, and that is awesome. And with that being said, are there any worries about gentrification within your area that you're dealing with as far as building up the communities? Because I know there's some parts of the communities I see that, but I think it's called Woodlands. Is that area, is that mainly for the community, or do you see it going in the direction of gentrification where they're trying to move people out to move other people in, if you understand what I'm saying?
I started a program called One Park Heights, and that goes from Pikesville to Park Circle. And we have everything mixed in there. We have the Jewish community. We have Haitian.
Yeah.
We have Dominican. We have Latino. We have African Americans. We have Haiti and Ghana. We have all of those, Jamaica. We have all of those melting pots there. And just as the scripture talks about, we are one body with many members.
Yes.
So we are learning from each other.
Yes.
But we are holding tight to each other because we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. Somebody said to me that this area is going to look like White Marsh. It is. Color. White Marsh with color.
I like that. I like that. All right. Community benefits and, plain language. If a resident asks, how does this $400 million project, as you were just talking about, change my Tuesday morning? Like, what do you tell them specific about jobs, contracts, transit, or public spaces?
Transit. We're getting ready to get a new transit system there with free buses to go to and fro certain places.
That's big.
So that's
that in itself.
Because Park Heights has begun to create this space that we're going to get what we deserve that the other areas have. So it's time for it to come home.
Yes.
If I would have to say anything about a person's Tuesday morning being different, I would say stand on your porch and take an inhale new ideas, because all of that is new. The racetrack is going to be new jobs there. One of the things we said when we went to Annapolis is, we don't just want you to build it. We want you to help our people get jobs in the area. So they made an agreement with us that 35% of their working staff will come from Park Heights.
So you beat me to my next
Yeah.
question. So yeah, that's important. So
Absolutely.
if you're gonna bring business in here, it has to be, the community that's
Absolutely.
a part of those businesses.
Absolutely. And not only that when they bring that 35% in, we're waiving the background check. We're waiving the substance abuse record that they may have.
Mhm.
Give them a job and let them, what they're going to do with bricks and rock.
Right.
They're not going to do anything. Let them come in and earn an honest living so that what we've been talking about, there's no change going through here without everybody's hands in it. They will actually see it. And I believe we're going to have a great success of many families being restored because these men and women are employed.
And what kind of support are you getting from the community? They say, well, wow, Troy is making, well, do they call you Bishop or do they just call you?
Bishop.
Bishop is making the change. Let's join hands and join Bishop.
I'm not making a change. I'm speaking out loud what they told me. So it's not me. So when they hear what they told me actually come or see what they actually told me come to pass, then they know that we're moving in the direction of the people. And it's nothing that I would do. It is all of them. It's everything that Grandma Alice told me when I sat on her stoop. And she said she couldn't go over there or she couldn't walk past or when she did go there, she had to go through the back door. How dare you? Now, Grandma Alice, you're walking through the front door and I'm going to walk right with you because now they're going to listen to us.
Right.
That's it.
Absolutely. And with that being said, and I know that there are people at times, they see the good that's going in the neighborhood and, some people don't like change. So what do you say to those people that kind of try to hold on to don't want to move into the new?
That has been one of our battles because people have been lied to so much in our community that it was coming, it was coming, it was coming. 150 years. Can you imagine saying that 150 years, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming? They didn't believe it.
Right, exactly.
They didn't believe it until the first bulldozer hit the building and knocked it down. Then they say, oh, I guess we're getting it. I guess we're getting it. They're still skeptic.
Yeah.
But as we go forward, they are seeing our progress and they are bending. But there are still some people that they don't want to change. And unfortunately, they have to change or they can't be there. I mean, because it's going to happen. It's happening.
And with that being said, with the people that kind of hold back and the challenges that you have to deal with in the community, and how do you stay? Because I know sometimes, because you recently shared a story about something that happened to you, I think while you were driving, where you were a victim of some gunshots that went off and it hit your car. Yes. So how do you remain steadfast and confident in the community when you go through things like that?
First of all, being in the middle of gunfire, which I had nothing to do with, I was sitting in my car and bullets ricocheting everywhere.
Yeah.
I found myself under my steering wheel praying to God that you can't end it like this. I said, you told me I had certain things I had to do and they're not finished yet. So I'm holding you to that. The only way I can hold you to that is you have to let me live. Bullets came through my car and through my seats. If I was sitting up, it would have went through my heart. And I got out of the car when the bullets stopped and it sounded like a war zone. Smoke was everywhere. 10-year-old boy lost his life in front of me, 10 feet away, gasping for air. And I prayed for him that God would receive him because I knew it was too late.
Yeah.
Too many bullets. And then in some cases, some people may think this is selfish, but it's not. I rejoiced that it wasn't me. I had work to do. And I thanked him for another chance. And right after that, the next day, I had to speak to the governor at Pimlico Racetrack. And I looked at him with that in me.
Yeah.
Someone called me and told me the night before, because I was going to do the speech, to not talk about the shooting around the governor because it may embarrass him. And I know Governor Moore.
Yeah.
He's not embarrassed very easily.
No.
He leaned into my message. And I told the person, I don't know if you know me or not. Just wasted your breath. I just want to let you know that. You don't know me, but you just wasted that. Now you make me really
right,
lean
really
in.
going into it.
And the governor gave me his word
Mhm.
that he's going to help us continue the fight to have a safe street, to have a neutral place, and to allow our young people to grow. And this is happening all over the place. I'm not saying that Park Heights is only prone for gunshots, but what I am saying is, if you're not a threat to the devil, he wouldn't have to do things like this. You have to be a threat, because if everybody in Park Heights is doing what he wanted, guess what? The streets would be quiet.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have any problems. It'll be good. But because we're going against the grain, because we're doing what God called us to do, the devil has it out for us.
Ooh, man. So, from that situation, do you feel that the community took steps back, or are you saying like this is part of the process?
That pushed me forward. That happened to me have sped up my clock in doing things. All of it's a step back when things like that happen, but it's how you respond to it that dictates the direction and the trajectory of where you're going. And that pushed me now to sit my board members down and sit my people in the church and the community down and say, okay, all that stuff y'all said you wanted to do, let's go. Let's get it done. We no longer procrastinate. We got to get it done. Some people would have run.
Yeah.
It made me want to stay and get the job.
And I commend you on that, because you're absolutely right. A lot of people would have probably quit and
pack their children up and go.
Yep, absolutely. So I definitely commend you.
And if I could say this one last thing, I was at the barbershop taking a neighbor who was mentally challenged. I take him every month to get his haircut. And it's funny, he goes into the barbershop, tell the barbershop barber what he wants, and I look at the barber and say, like, you know what I told you, do what I told you. And I was rushing in after the gunfire, because he was right there at the window getting his haircut. And I ran in to tell him to make sure he was okay and he didn't get shot, killed. And he turned around in the chair and said, what's wrong? Why are you so upset? What's wrong with you? And his mental capacity could not allow him to process what just happened. Can you imagine to be in a place that you can't even process negativity, and every day is beautiful? But this is what put the icing on the cake. I ran in to make sure he's okay. 3 weeks later, he died from cancer. So the very person I ran, because God made, so because of him, I was there for that reason. Because if I was not taking him and he died a month ago, I would have never been in that spot. So God spared his life to push my life.
Man.
Yeah. So I'll be preaching his eulogy. It's
yeah. So, and speaking of that, being a pastor and doing those types of things where, it's tough, even when you, for example, you knew him, and then family members, you have to go through those. Like, as a pastor, how do you deal with that? Like, doing a eulogy for your family members, your close friends, and people that you've mentored. What kind of, does that take a toll on you?
It's an honor. I'm scared every time I get up to preach. And if you're not scared, something wrong. You need to check yourself. If you get up there too boastful, there's a problem. But I find it an honor that they would ask me to do it. Anybody would ask me to do it, because I'm going to be myself, and I know who I am and do it. But I take it as it does take a toll on you, because you don't get a chance to grieve.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my mechanism to get through it. Maybe that's how I'm going to get through it. But I've preached them and found it to be enough.
And speaking of the youth there, we talked about, let's talk about the youth pipeline that you're mentoring within the Park Heights community. If you had funding to scale one youth pathway this year, what would it be, and which partners would you tap into first?
I'm tapping into all of them.
Okay.
I mean, I go up to Governor Moore and I'll say, you have any money laying around? You have any programs? It's not, not now with all that, but I hit my delegates. I hit my senator. I voted for y'all, and I need you to help me. I have this young man that I'm working with who has possibility, and he wants to do this, 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 and this. Give me a pathway to give to him. I go to the churches and I say, he needs money for vacation fees, or he needs money for suits and clothes. I go to Suited to Succeed for men, and I make sure that they get suits and shirts and ties. It's free every Wednesday. I wish I could plug them because it's just absolutely wonderful. Plus, they give you haircuts for free. So they could get ready for an interview. If I was to pick, and that would be very hard because I work with so many young people, I would pick the one with the wildest idea because that's the one I want to see. That's the one I want to do. I would love to have build a conference room in Park Heights, right in the middle of the street, and have all the drug dealers come to the table because they're the real businessmen. Yeah, they're the real they wear uniform. They come to work on time. They know how to count their money. They know how to do inventory. They know how to market. They know how to go home and go to sleep. They know how to hire people. I don't like the way they fire people. They hire people. So they have the concept. They have it. I would love to put them at a board table and make them board members. And let's open up a business, y'all, and blow this thing up. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, they will be ruthless in marketing. Ruthless. Look at the talent, and it's so much talent on the street that gets untapped.
And with all that you're doing and all that you've been through, and I know you talk to God and you pray, but who does Troy talk to as far as other men to get a different perspective on things, or just expressing yourself on how you feeling and who can comfort you in your time?
I have a few friends that I call friends. My Archbishop, he lives 4 doors away from me. I thought that was going to be a nuisance. I thought that I had to walk the straight and narrow. I would have to do, I can't be. But no, we sit on my back porch and we shoot the breeze and I talk. But I have a small group of people that I can just lay my head on their shoulder and just cry. I don't even have to say nothing.
Wow.
But the place I get the most support are my children. And I'm saying my biological children, love them. They get to a point where they don't want you around. So not them.
Oh, right.
Okay. But the children that I work with in the community.
Wow.
They're so real. They're so open. I don't go and tell them, oh my God, I did this and I did that. And no, I don't have to do that. But I get a sense of peace with them that I can teach them in a way that I'm getting it out. But at the same time, I'm showing them that I can teach them a lesson that they don't have to go down there. I get peace with them. And I sit next to the water and I hear the water. I'm a water person and I find peace in being next to the brook, hearing the water run. It tells me that no matter what happens, you still got to move. You go around, water goes around trees, goes around rocks, goes over rocks. We are just like water. We have to keep moving to get to our destiny. And that's where I get a lot of my peace.
Wow. Wow. And what would you say to those young men and young women of how to seek help when you need to express yourself, or when you need to talk to someone? Because a lot of young people don't know how to do that these days. They tell all their business on social media, screaming. It says, I need help. It screams, I need help.
Yeah.
Just by the way they put stuff on social media. So how would you recommend young people tap into their sources?
Don't be no fool. If you need help, say it. I don't care who you say it to. I used to chair a board for 988, which is the new mental health hotline, 24 hours, 7 days a week. A person can call 988 and bare their soul to a stranger. That stranger is a therapist.
Right.
That stranger is a licensed clinician that will be able to push you and move you forward to being healthy. But if you just want to get it out and you don't want a blueprint to La La Land, but you just want to get it out, call 988. Call them and let them know what you're going through. You can let them know they can't track your phone number. They don't have your name. You're anonymous. And then if you get to a point where you really, really need something in the community, go to your pastor. If you don't have a pastor, seek out a minister in the community and go talk to them. That's their job.
Absolutely.
That's our job.
Absolutely.
We're supposed to do that in song. We're supposed to do that in preaching. We're supposed to do that in deed. Find someone to get it out because you're eating yourself alive by holding it. It doesn't get better and it doesn't go away.
Oh man, that's some good advice for the young people out there. It's very important because I've seen a lot of young people take their lives.
Yes.
Or act out and would put them into jail, which also is another way of them losing their lives. This one kid that I mentored a long time ago, one bad mistake because he didn't want to come talk to anybody. He didn't want to tell anybody how he's feeling. So he expressed it in anger, beat someone to half to death, and now he's spending 20 years in jail. And all he had to do was come talk to somebody. Come talk to me or come talk to anybody.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, if you'd have just let that go and express himself, that probably wouldn't have happened. So
it's true. But you have to look at it also. The community have to be a community.
Yes.
Instead of you looking away from them.
That's a problem these days because the communities don't want to be communities these days.
No.
You know,
they get out of their car and go in the house. When you walk past my house, you're going to get a hello, good evening. You still out here again?
Yeah.
You better stop all that walking. And they get to know you after a period of time that even when I'm in my living room and I'm looking out my shutter windows, they look up on the porch to see if I'm sitting. It lets me know that they're not threatened.
Right.
And they feel, but community don't want to talk to our young people anymore. They want to blame them. They want to throw them. But if I need to remind you, you helped raise them.
Yeah.
We all raised them.
Yeah.
And when you seen them do something younger when they were little, it didn't get better.
Yeah.
It got worse.
Absolutely.
And that's on your tab because you had an opportunity to say, you shouldn't do that. And I'm going to go talk to your mom because that shouldn't happen. We would have less drug dealers. We'll have less robbers. We'll have less killers because people have taken the initiative to care about somebody else that's not in their family. Yeah.
What do you think is the hardest part about being a parent, not to just your kids, to the community as well, too? What is the hardest thing about being a parent?
Our kids are great. I just want to say they're great. You got to love them.
They are wired.
Just being open with them and talking, not being their friend. You could never be their friend. I told my son when he was 21, he said, come on, Dad, let's go and go to the bar and let's have a cigar and celebrate my birthday. I said, I'm not on your age. You're not on your level and you're not on mine. Right. And the sad part about it is you will never be on my level.
There you go.
Because we're not same age.
There you go.
I'm going to respect you to have fun and enjoy your stuff. I want you to be safe, but I'm not going to switch from being your father to being your best friend. You know, I can't do that because you need me as a father.
Yeah.
You know, you'll always need me as a father. You know, I'm going to change how I interact with you as you get older, but we have to hear our kids and they're talking to us loud and clear. It's their body movement. It's what they do. My daughter goes in the room and shuts the door and all the lights are off and she got a red light going around her room. I took her to the doctors. I said, what is wrong with that? She said, I'm glad you did that because your daughter was slipping into depression. So it wasn't a color scheme. Yeah. She was slipping. She was isolating herself. And thank God I got her in to see somebody so she can talk it out.
Right.
But how many parents overlook that?
Yeah, a lot of parents overlook that.
And they're depressed of the schools.
Yeah.
They're depressed from the neighborhood. They're depressed. They don't know their gender. They don't know who they love. They don't know who they can express themselves to. They're dealing with a lot.
Absolutely.
And instead of us being judgmental, we need to be able to be open and listen and swallow that hard pill.
Yes. Swallow that hard pill.
I told my children's mother while she was talking, I was saying, because that's the only way we're going to get through.
Absolutely. So we talked about who Troy Randall is on paper. Who is Bishop Troy Randall here?
I hurt like everybody. I get angry. I just kicked the chair the other day. Somebody did something stupid. And it was just, but I had to get it out. I feel just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I want to love and have a relationship that lasts forever. I want to experience walking through the neighborhood safely and driving my bike. And now I'm in a position that I want to travel around the country. I'm excited. My daughter graduates in this school year. Woo-hoo.
Oh, congratulations.
Woo-hoo. My last one. And I'm ready to go. Stayed home for all my children. All of them thank God, got their high school diplomas. Some got their college degrees. And now I'm going to experience me.
Yeah.
And I started by going to Ghana. I woke up one morning and said, I want to go to Africa.
Wow.
And I called the travel agent. She hooked it up. It was a good price. For round trip and a week and a half stay, I paid close to $3,000 in all exclusive. And nobody knew me.
Wow.
Nobody knew me. But guess what? People still ask me for help in Africa.
Wow.
So that goes to let me know it ain't who I am in my name.
Yeah.
It's what God has on me.
Yeah.
Because no matter where I'm going to go, they're still going to ask me for help. Now, it took a long time for me to understand what they were saying, but they still asked me for help. And I still went to find resources to make sure that they had on my vacation. So I like to travel. I love to go to gatherings and galas. I love all of that. I don't know the boots on the ground thing yet. I've been trying to practice it. I don't know it yet, but I got the other ones, got the booty call, and I got all the other ones. I got them down packed. But
I think they wore the boots on the ground thing out.
They did. and I'm going to learn it when it's all gone. Watch. But I like to have fun.
Yeah.
And I like gatherings. And I always like to have people happy. So I'm always giving community events and things like that, game nights, spades, and we do bikino and bingo. We do all of that stuff, and we have a good time. I love it. I love it. That's why.
And with that being said, because we'll be ready to wrap up, what do you want to see beyond Park Heights? Because I know Park Heights is your ground zero, and that you're building. What do you want to see in Baltimore City besides Park Heights? Like what other neighborhoods overall in Baltimore City?
Well, and one of the things we didn't really get into is At the House, which is my nonprofit agency.
Yes, I'm sorry.
And that's all right. That's all right. You take me somewhere else. I go on. I forget about work. But in my program, we have a social settlement house, the first social settlement house in Baltimore City. And it was really set up for refugees to have everything under one roof. I did a little twist. I made it Mama's house, where you come in and you smell cookies baking in the oven. I want that smell. I want the conference room to be a dining room table. And I want people to sit at the table and we talk. And you tell me what's going on. I want to see that project. And we have case management. We have mental health. We have a golf summer program for youth and urban kids, the first of its kind in Baltimore City. We have 50 kids. I want that replicated throughout the city. So I'm going to put 2 in Park Heights. And then I'm going to go to East Baltimore, South Baltimore. And I want to be able to have these replicas where people can come and get the support they need in their bath shoes or their robe, or come down and don't have to take the rollers out their hair, but they need help and they need help right now. I want them to be able to come in and get the help. We have community showers where the homeless can come in and take a shower and put clothes on. People say, I don't want the homeless to talk to me because they smell. Okay, then give them something to wash up with.
There you go.
If you want to talk about them, let's give them a shower. So while their clothes are being washed in our washer and dryer, we give them a sweatsuit, and they have a sweatsuit to take with them. But that way we give them a bowl of food to eat and we can sit down and talk. I want that replicated throughout the city so that one day these services don't have to be there.
Wow.
That's my church.
There you go. Church. Beyond those 4 walls. Beyond those walls.
Yep.
And last thing I'm going to ask you is, what does Bishop Troy Randall like to see? And I don't want to get, into the political thing too much. How do you support the country now with what's going on? And how do you get people, I'm trying not to be, so how do you navigate through everything that's going on?
Okay.
And with the government shutting down, people being deported,
Mhm.
Prices of everything skyrocketing.
Mhm.
And with you in the community doing everything you can, that's kind of like, it's like a slap in the face.
It is.
So
is.
how do you, navigate through that?
Well, thank God we got our funding before they did that.
Yeah.
Because that would have been an issue and I probably would have had a different tone. But what I'm going to say is churches have to wake up. We were the first social service. We were the first help.
Ooh, the first, I like
We were
that.
the first
I
social
like
service.
that.
Jesus fed the hungry.
Yeah.
He clothed the naked.
Yeah.
He made ways out of no way. And I'm not saying that we have the power to wave a wand and all this go
Mhm.
away, but we have to, even in this rough time of whoever's in the White House or
Mhm.
whatever is going on, we have to assure the people that the church is still a hospital.
Yeah.
The church is still a help and a social service. The church has to step up.
Yeah.
Stop buying your pastors $3,000 robes
Yeah.
and put that money in benevolence.
Amen.
Stop that lie that you have a building fund.
Preaching. There you
And
go.
you don't have a building fund. You've been building that fund ever since for 30 years. And you still at 30,000? Something's wrong with that picture. Take that money, since the building ain't there,
Mhm.
and put it into supports in the community. Have pantries. How many churches have a pantry? Most of them don't.
No, you don't. Yeah.
A clothes closet.
Yeah.
And if your church has a pantry and mine has a clothes closet, then you go get something to eat
Mhm.
and then come over here and get some clothes for your
Mhm.
family. And this place takes care of your children for daycare. We are the church.
There you
And
go.
we are the only support. And if we don't stand up, it's not about the politician. If we don't stand up and do this, our people will perish. We will have nothing. Nothing. I've been asked to run for office. I've been asked several times. The first ask was to take B. Gaddy, and some of people may remember her.
Yep.
Years ago.
Mhm.
They called for me to take her place in city council.
Right.
Absolutely not. Because I'm a bigger threat outside than I am inside.
Right.
Because then
They
you
can
have my
control
strength.
you. Right. There you go.
No,
there you go.
Can't control me.
Right.
I'm dangerous outside.
So tell us some of the, before we wrap up, tell us
Mhm.
some of the things that you're doing right now, some things you got going in the future that you want people to know.
Okay, well, we're building that resource center, the social settlement house. So we are funny today. We got the first check. So we are ready. We're on our way to breaking ground and doing what we need to do with that. But while we're going forward, I have winter clinics for golf for kids from the summer camp. The city gave us a land, abandoned land, and we turned it into a putting green.
Oh, wow.
The first of its kind.
Wow.
As you can see, the trend, first of its kind.
All right.
I like that for some trends, and I don't know why. But the first of its kind to have that. So with that just opened up, we have our own transportation where we pick seniors up and families to go to the doctors or to the market who don't have transportation. I'm into transportation now. I worked with the Clark's transportation a while ago, and it inspired me to have my own. So now we have transportation for that. And we are going to do Thanksgiving dinner turkeys, and we're going to do toys for children. We do it every year with Mount Washington and prepare for next year that's coming. But that's basically what we do. And we're going on with our case management. But I do want to tell you this. We have a resource app, first of its kind, in the Park Heights community, and it showcases all the resources in Park Heights, all the churches in Park Heights, their phone numbers, the hours of operation, what they actually do, their website, and it's free to everybody in Park Heights and anybody to download on an Apple or either an Android phone. And instead of calling me at 2:00 in the morning, you can scroll on your phone to the app, and it'll tell you where the next food pantry is or the next pantry to get Pampers for children. And that has rolled out already. We rolled it out this summer, and we're so excited about it. It goes into Hispanic language. It goes hopefully the beginning of the year. And we also have it rolling so that all events in the Park Heights community will roll up. And we want to roll that out into every area in the community. We don't want to combine them, but we want to be able that the people in 15 and 17 and 24, they can look and see what's in their neighborhood. So the money stays in the neighborhood. And when the money stays in the neighborhood, those small mom and pop shops grow and get bigger and become fortified to stay there instead of us leaving the community to go somewhere.
Wow, man, I didn't realize so much is going on in the Park Heights. Like, Wow. So that app you talked about, right?
Mhm.
Is there any way you can send me that? I definitely
Absolutely.
want to add it to the
Absolutely.
episode so people can get
Absolutely.
access. Yeah, absolutely.
It's called Community Resource App. I try to make it as simple as possibly can.
Yeah, and man, this hearing this story that everything that you're doing in Park Heights definitely inspired me because I really want to be a more advocate in my community that I'm living in right now. As far as my church, like I'm working to build a workforce development program for my church. Yeah, so I'm definitely hearing your story definitely inspired me even more to be more boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Because it's all
Did you
about,
say boots on the ground?
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just thought you said that. Boots on the
Yeah, but it's about
Absolutely.
that's what it's about, serving
And giving back.
Yes,
Because we've been afforded a lot of stuff.
yes,
You've been afforded a mother and a father
yes,
and a household that most people didn't have. I have siblings. And I want to give back. My mother started me with the first pot of spaghetti that she made for the community. All the kids around came and ate at our house. And my father came home and kicked the door in. He said, I'm sick of you feeding everybody in the block. I don't buy food for everybody in the block. And that started me. And that's where I got my start from. And it was in my own.
Wow.
Like I know yours come from in your
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I know this.
Absolutely. Yeah. My mother, she taking anybody. She'll bring in the whole all my life.
Look, I've eaten there. I know.
So absolutely. So yeah, we are definitely used to that. But I want to thank you again for coming on the show. Yes, this was an awesome show. Very informative. People are going to get a lot out of this episode.
Well, I hope I can be a help.
Yeah, and people are going to be inspired. Hey, some people may be offended. Oh well,
they'll be all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it is what it is.
Yep.
So
You'll be fine.
Thank you again. I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And to our Pastor Mike's son audience, I end the show with this every time we get ready to wrap. So same blood, different voice, one mic. All right. We see you guys to the next episode. Talk to you guys later. Peace.